Hello. Here we have a Kubernetes cluster by 3 nodes and 1 master. Final processes running over the nodes. Go now to Nuage. You're going to see that we have a Nuage Kubernetes process. It's going to connect the APIs in VSD in order to make VSD aware of any change on the cluster. And also we have the Nuage VRS based on OpenVSwitch, providing all the functionalities between layer 2 and layer 4. On the next picture, you're gonna see how Nuage Kubernetes is contacting a Nuage VSD directory. Our virtualized services controller is programming all these Nuage VRS through OpenFlow. They can be inside the Kubernetes cluster over the nodes, or also you can have an hypervisor like KVM or ESX. You can have Docker servers, or you can have bare metals, or even you can program VTEP devices in order to have the connection between the physical network to the overlay. This picture is more or less what we have right now in the lab. Then you have the Kubernetes cluster and a standalone Docker server that are connected through an underlay IP network. We are going to create a layer 3 domain, and we are going to have all the pods in this cluster connected with the containers in the Docker server to the same domain. Now we are seeing that we have a service in the Kubernetes cluster, and we are providing load balancing through Haproxy to the different pods inside the Kubernetes cluster. On the other hand, we have the Haproxy inside the Docker server connecting all the pods inside this cluster through the overlay network. We are going to start with our lab now. This is the info of my Kubernetes cluster. These are the nodes. This is the information of the pods that I have on the different nodes, and also these are the services that I already have right now. Now I'm in the VSD console, and we have a domain for our Kubernetes cluster where we are also running all these cluster services based on containers and other networks where we can connect other kind of resources like containers or pods. Through this console also we can manage in a centralized way all the access control list and policies and advanced policies like forwarding rules in order to do some service insertion. These are my scripts to speed up the demo, and we are gonna check the first script. This script is gonna recreate a deployment. I'm gonna delete my current deployment and I'm gonna recreate a new one using the same YAML template. I'm gonna export this deployment with a service type load balancer. My second script is just to show how this deployment building process is going on every 10 seconds. The next script is to do some tests to the service, and I'm getting the IP address of the service that we just created, and I'm using curl to check out the different pods and their response every second. The next script is to create the external load balancer through in my Docker server that is out of the Kubernetes cluster, and I'm creating a Haproxy config file to set up this balancer, identifying what are the pods that need to be connected. I'm using a Haproxy local image. And the last script is to test this external balancer, jumping into the different pods using a curl script that is running every second up to 10 times. This is my hello YAML file that is going to use to create the deployment over the Kubernetes cluster. I'm using my own image called hello node that is based on the node image. This is the image. This is the Docker file. You can see that I'm using the node image version 4.4 and also I'm exposing the port 8080 and I'm using a file called server.js, and this file is just printing the string hello world version 1 and the pod's hostname. I'm gonna deploy my pods with 4 replicas. First, I'm gonna delete the current deployment and the service, and then create again the deployment and the service, as you can see there. As you can see, in some moment I have the current deployment and the new deployment, part of the current deployment and in the terminated status, and finally they disappear and I have just the pods of the new deployment. Now we are going to check out the configuration file of our external Haproxy to show you that I have the previous IP addresses, and those are going to change later when I recreate the external load balancer in the standalone Docker server. Now I'm going to test the Kubernetes service. As you can see, I'm jumping into the different pods. The balancing is already working. Now I'm gonna create my external load balancer. Okay, it's set up, and I'm gonna show you the configuration file of our external load balancer, and you can see that the IP addresses have changed. And I'm gonna test this external load balancer and using a container connected to the overlay, and you can see that I have the same response that I got from the Kubernetes service. This is actually my pod connected to the overlay. I have the same host names, and this is my Haproxy. As you can check out, I have the same IP address. Thank you very much. See ya.